the state, around the country, around the world are on the Indiana Fever. And Bria, this is going to be a lot of.
Caitlin Clark just accomplished something in 41 games that took Diana Taurasi 565 games to achieve. Let that sink in.
There it is! A triple.
Rookie to sophomore leap we're witnessing might be unprecedented in professional basketball history. The numbers are staggering. While everyone's talking about her triple-double, there are actually 11 records from that game that were broken by Clark and the Indiana Fever. I've analyzed every minute of the Fever's demolition of the Chicago Sky, and what I found will leave you speechless. Caitlin Clark's triple-double was just the beginning of a night that changed the WNBA record books forever. If you're rocking with Indiana, comment "I've got the Fever" down below.
Having the Fever organization be what it is today, like, it is just so fun to be a part of. There's been a lot of anticipation.
You've done a great job in training camp leading to this moment. Enjoy it. Okay, go out there and have some.
Let's go. While everyone's eyes were locked on Caitlin Clark that night, something truly historic happened that almost flew under the radar. DeWanna Bonner walked onto the court just 7 points away from basketball immortality.
Fourth all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. And in her first game with the Fever, will likely move into third all-time. She's currently just 6 points behind Tina Thompson for third on the all-time scoring chart.
15 years of professional excellence, thousands of buckets, and now standing at the doorstep of becoming the third highest scorer in WNBA history. Would anyone even notice this milestone with all the Fever mania happening? That's the question that hung in the air as the game against Chicago began.
Who knocks it away, Cookies, TV, open court, right side, and she lays it in!
Bonner has been putting the ball in the basket since 2009, steadily climbing the scoring ranks through stints with Phoenix, Connecticut, and now Indiana. And here she was, just 7 points away from passing Tina Thompson on the all-time list. The moment finally arrived in the final quarter. Bonner was sent to the free throw line to hit 2 shots. The first one swished in, tying the record in front of an adoring crowd.
One more free throw for Bonner. It's in the air, and it's good. DeWanna Bonner now third in WNBA history in scoring. 7,489 points and counting. And here's the ovation for Bonner.
One pushed her past 7,488 career points, making her just the third player in the 28-year history of the WNBA to reach the scoring summit. What makes Bonner's achievement even more special is how she's transformed the Fever's culture. This isn't just some aging star chasing personal glory.
BB is somebody that, is a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. The strongest voice in our locker room is hers, and it's fun to have been around here now for about a month just to get to learn from her and soak it in. And I'm really happy she got to do it at the free throw line and all the fans could go crazy and cheer for her because she certainly deserved that moment, and it was really awesome to see and be a part.
She's a 6-time All-Star with 2 championships who brings winning DNA to a young roster desperate for guidance. When she speaks in the locker room, players like Clark, Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull listen. The Indiana crowd gave her a standing ovation when the PA announcer shared the milestone. It proved that even in this era of viral highlights and young superstars, basketball fans still recognize greatness that spans decades. Bonner's climb to become the third all-time leading scorer wasn't just a personal achievement. It set the tone for what would become a night of record-breaking performances. Now Bonner has only Tina Charles ahead of her at 7,696 points for the second spot on the all-time list. But as impressive as her achievement was, the night was just getting started. Another Fever star was about to remind everyone why Indiana's future looks so frighteningly bright. Remember when people questioned if Aaliyah Boston could truly dominate, especially against fellow South Carolina alum Camila Cardoso, who stands at 6 feet 7 inches?
Oh, hey, good stuff. Okay, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our defense was really good, and when we had lapses, we played through possessions. All right, so we made things happen. Y'all, overall, just hell of an effort.
Celtics got their answer in the most emphatic way possible against the Chicago Sky. Boston entered her third season with something to prove. She wasn't just looking to be a great player. She wanted to establish herself as a franchise cornerstone alongside Clark, the duo that would power Indiana for the next decade. The foundation of something special brewing in Indianapolis. The Chicago frontcourt came in full of themselves. Angel Reese had been talking all week about how she planned to dominate the paint against Boston. Instagram posts, press conferences, even in warm-ups. Reese made it clear she thought she'd own the matchup. Boston's response, a defensive masterclass that left jaws on the floor. 5 blocks that sent Sky players' shots flying into the stands. The kind of rejections that had fans jumping out of their seats and pointing at the scoreboard. Each time Reese went up for a shot, Boston seemed to be right there waiting. Defensive dominance moved her to 6th in blocks in Fever history. Those 13 rebounds weren't just impressive, they were historic. The performance moved Boston to 8th in rebounds in Fever franchise history in just her 3rd season. Think about that. Players have been grabbing boards for the Fever for decades, and Boston is already in the top 10 all-time. The combination of 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks put Boston in truly rare air. She became only the 2nd player ever in WNBA history with 15-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus blocks in a season opener.
Yes, great job with those long arms of Aaliyah Boston here, going up multiple times and then...
Natasha Howard back in 2014. That's exclusive company for any player, let alone one in just her 3rd year. And then the Clark to Boston connection showed perfect chemistry all night. Clark kept finding her big for easy buckets. A high-low pass here, a perfectly timed bounce pass there. Meanwhile, Boston kept protecting the rim like it contained states. Chicago thought they had a lane to the basket. Boston slammed the door shut. While Reese did manage 17 rebounds, her offensive game suffered terribly. She shot just 5 for 14 from the field, struggling to score over Boston's perfectly timed contests. The much-hyped matchup turned into a clinic on defensive positioning and timing, but the most jaw-dropping moment of defensive brilliance came when Boston and another teammate combined for a record that had never been seen before in WNBA opening night history, a partnership that would have scoring wings and guards around the league rethinking their approach to attacking the Indiana defense.
For the season to tip off, it's the Fever against the Chicago Sky. We saw record crowds a season ago, and I'd say they are back and raring to go in 2020.
Clark did against the Sky wasn't just impressive. It was something we've literally never seen in the 28-year history of the WNBA. No one has ever done what she accomplished in that season opener. Not Diana Taurasi, not Sue Bird, not Cheryl Swoops, nobody.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory, and I have 3 words. Oh my God. Or now you.
Clark entered her sophomore season carrying massive expectations. After breaking 62 records during her rookie season and transforming the Fever from lottery team to playoff contender, fans wondered what she'd do for an encore. Predicted what was about to happen against Chicago. Early in the game, Clark was already on fire. She hit a logo 3 within the first few minutes, the kind of shot that makes defenders shake their heads. The ball barely touched the net as it went through.
One in your career, but you had 4 blocks out there. That's more than you ever had in college. Matches your WNBA career high. Felt like you were channeling the spirit of Gabby Marshall out there with the blocks. Is that a part of your game that you've been working on the postseason? Are we going to see more blocks out of you as your career rolls on?
She played like someone who had spent the entire offseason with one goal: dominate on both ends of the court. Clark started seeing passing lanes nobody else could see, threading needles with passes that seemed impossible.
Really something you can work on. I don't know, I felt like I had active hands. I had some pokes when our post players were playing good defense, and coaching staff has just challenged me to try to be a better defender every single practice and just getting better in that area. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve. I don't think any of those blocks were too obvious. You look at the stat sheet, it's like, oh wow, 4, but you can get your hand on there and help your teammate out. It makes the world.
She grabbed rebounds over taller players, out-jumping them with perfect timing. But most surprisingly, she blocked shots like never before.
There it is! A triple.
Four blocks set a career high and became the most blocks by a point guard in a season opener in WNBA history. This shocked everyone who thought defense was her weakness. These weren't just weak contests either. They were emphatic rejections that energized the entire team.
She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls, certainly mine as well, playing her basketball and watching her play.
Boston connection reached its peak when they combined for 9 blocks, the most by any duo in a season-opening game in league history. Think about that, a point guard and center combining for 9 blocks. That's the kind of defensive impact usually reserved for Twin Towers frontcourts, not a guard-center pairing. As the fourth quarter began, anticipation built throughout the arena. Clark needed just 2 assists and 1 rebound for history. The crowd sat on the edge of their seats as she chased the first ever 20-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist triple-double in a season opener. Every time she passed the ball, fans held their breath. Every missed shot had them watching to see if she'd grab the board. With just under 5 minutes left, Clark secured her 10th assist on a perfect pass to Aaliyah Boston for a mid-range jumper. The crowd erupted. Then minutes later, she came back to the game to snag her 10th rebound, sending the arena into absolute pandemonium. History had been made and everyone knew it. Clark's 20-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist performance wasn't just her 3rd career triple-double. It made her number 3 in the all-time triple-double list.
Regular season is here and we have no more time for flirting, folks. We have no more time. It's time to get serious about our business. And Caitlin Clark handled her business game 1. 20, 10, and 10. 20, 10, and 10. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, what did the kids say? Belt to ass? Oh yeah. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Indiana Fever destroy, obliterate, run out of the gym the Chicago Sky. 93-50.
Became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 3 career triple-doubles, needing just 41 games, while also tying Alyssa Thomas for the second most 20-point triple-doubles ever. But the most mind-blowing stat shows how Clark is rewriting the record books at warp speed. She now has 9 games with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists, second all-time next to Courtney Vandersloot. What's even more record-breaking is she did this in just 41 games, while Diana Taurasi, also with 9 such games, took 565 games to reach that mark. League-leading Courtney Vandersloot needed 430 games to reach 10 such performances. That's the difference between Clark and everyone else who's played in this league. What takes other players their entire careers to accomplish, she's doing in her first 41 games. She's not just breaking records, she's shattering our understanding of what's possible for a player in professional basketball. Think about this, if Clark maintains even a fraction of this pace, she'll break every meaningful WNBA point, assist, and triple-double record before it's all said and done. That's not hyperbole. That's math. What we just witnessed against the Sky isn't just a win. It's the birth of a dynasty that could dominate women's basketball for the next decade. The Fever's 35-point demolition of Chicago represents more than just a regular victory. It showcases what happens when generational talents align at the perfect moment. And this wasn't any ordinary blowout, it represents the second biggest win margin in Indiana Fever history. While skeptics might dismiss this as just one game, the statistical evidence tells a different story about what's actually brewing in Indiana. 11 records broken in a single night isn't a fluke. It's a warning shot to the rest of the league. The Clark-Boston connection is evolving faster than anyone anticipated. Their combined 9 blocks demonstrates they're developing two-way chemistry that goes beyond scoring. That defensive partnership wasn't supposed to happen this quickly. Most experts predicted it would take years for them to develop this level of court awareness together. Instead, they're already setting records as a duo. This roster has unprecedented balance. You've got a sophomore star in Clark who's breaking records at a pace never seen before. You've got a third-year dominant big in Boston who's already climbing the franchise record books. Veterans with championship and deep playoff experience like Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sydney Colson, Brianna Turner, and Sophie Cunningham provide leadership. And young stars like Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull who are entering their prime. When you look at how quickly this team is gelling, it's hard not to get excited. The spacing is perfect. The defensive rotations are crisp. The ball movement is exceptional. These aren't things young teams typically excel at. Yet, the Fever are making it look easy. This isn't just about one record-breaking night. It's about witnessing the formation of a team that could redefine WNBA basketball and bring multiple championships to Indiana. We're seeing the basketball equivalent of watching the early Chicago Bulls before their championship runs. You can feel the foundation being laid for something special. The most exciting part? Clark, Boston, and this Fever team are just getting started, and the rest of the league should be terrified about what comes next. If they're breaking 11 records in a single night, what happens when they really hit their stride? What happens when the team reaches peak chemistry? This isn't just a good team having a good night. This is the beginning of something historic in women's basketball. The gap between the Fever and the rest of the league is only going to widen from here. The Indiana Fever didn't just win a game. They announced their arrival as a force in women's basketball with a 35-point demolition of the Chicago Sky. That's the second largest margin of victory in franchise history. When a team breaks 11 records in a single night, you're not just watching basketball. You're watching history unfold right before your eyes. And this Fever team might just be getting started. The question isn't if Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and the Indiana Fever will break more records this season. The question is how many more they'll shatter before they're done. If you're rocking with Indiana, comment "I've got the Fever" down below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out.